Hello friends, I'm going to show you how to make macarons from beginning to end using the Swiss method. These macarons are filled with coconut fudge. I hope you enjoy. Here I'm wiping down my baking mats with vinegar. It helps to get rid of grease particles that might be in the mat. I also do this to the bowls, spatulas, and the whisk. Then weigh the almond flour and powdered sugar. My recipe calls for 105 grams of each. After you weigh the ingredients, you can sift the almond flour and powdered sugar together and set it aside. Then weigh the granulated sugar, 100 grams of it. I'm also adding egg white powder to the sugar and going to whisk until combined. If you don't whisk the egg white powder and sugar, they will clump together once you mix the fresh egg whites in. Now let's add the fresh egg whites. 100 grams of egg whites. Try to get it properly measured. If it goes over a couple of grams, I'll usually just leave it. Now let's place this bowl over a pan with barely simmering water and whisk for a couple of minutes until the sugar has completely melted. Touch the mixture, and if you don't feel any sugar granules, you can remove it from the heat. Pour the syrup in the bowl of a mixer. Begin by whipping on low and then gradually increase the speed to medium and to medium-high. Whip the meringue until it reaches stiff peaks. Let's check if the meringue is done. Swirl the whisk on the bottom of the bowl to grab some meringue. You should feel some resistance against the whisk. Then pull up the whisk and the peak should be shooting straight up, not bending down to the side. Also look at the bottom of the meringue, and you should see some nice defined waves forming. Pour the sifted dry ingredients into the stiff meringue. Then add food coloring at this point. I'm adding a touch of mauve and electric purple by Macarons. We're going to begin folding with a spatula. Fold until the perfect consistency is achieved. The batter should be flowing slowly and effortlessly off the spatula. You should be able to form several figure eights with the batter that's flowing off the spatula without having it break up. And even after the batter breaks up, it should still continue to flow slowly and effortlessly off the spatula. Transfer the batter to a piping bag fitted with a round tip. I'm using a Wilton 12. Then begin piping by placing the piping bag directly over the center of each circle template. Apply gentle pressure to release the batter, then pull it up, twisting at the top. Tap the trays against the counter or against the palm of your hands to release any air bubbles, and also use a toothpick to pop any remaining air bubbles. I also made different color batters and piped different sizes macarons as well. I let the macarons rest until dry to the touch before baking. To bake these macarons, I used a 310 Fahrenheit oven and rimless baking sheet. Baking time was about 17 minutes for the larger macarons and 13 for the smaller ones. Now to make the fudge filling, we're going to add sweetened condensed milk to a pan with a heavy bottom. We're also going to add 1 tablespoon of butter and half a cup of shredded coconut. Begin stirring immediately as you cook the fudge over medium heat. Don't stop stirring at any point or it's going to stick to the bottom of the pan. It should take from 10 to 15 minutes to cook the fudge. It really depends on how high the heat is. Stop cooking the fudge when it looks thick and you can see the bottom of the pan when you run the spatula through the middle, and the fudge takes about 5 seconds to come back together. If you cook it too much, the fudge will become too hard when it cools down, and if you don't cook it enough, it will be too soft to fill the macarons. So it is important to find the proper consistency. Remove the fudge from the pan and pour it into a bowl. Then let the fudge cool down to room temperature. If you place it in the fridge, it may become too hard to pipe, so I recommend keeping this at room temperature until ready to use. Place the fudge in a piping bag fitted with a round piping tip. Then you can pipe it on the bottom shells of the macarons. Top with another shell, and then coat the sides in shredded coconut. Let the macarons rest in the fridge overnight so they will mature. I hope you enjoyed this video. For the full recipe, go to my blog, piesandtacos.com. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!